And we're live. We're on our very first podcast of Room 36. Today we have Chris Ward with us. Hi, Chris.
Hey Dan, great to be at room 36
Yeah,
and super pleased to be your first guest.
yeah. Just to give you a little icebreaker. When was the last time you shaved?
I shaved last Friday at the hairdresser's actually.
Okay.
She gave me a trim.
You're talking about your face, right?
My face.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about my face.
Cool. How was your yoga this morning, man?
My body was aching. It didn't like
Before
it.
or after?
Before, so it takes a bit of time to warm up.
Think you stayed up too late?
Maybe, or I need a new bed, I think.
Sure.
But it was good. It was nice.
So I want to give you a scenario and see how you react to it.
Okay.
You wake up and you don't have any pants on. You're in the middle of some suburb outside of Kiev. No pants. It's maybe 11 a.m. And you have just $50 in your pocket. Sweater pocket,
Okay.
because you have no pants on.
Yeah.
And then you see a beautiful girl walk by and you realize you have to talk to her. You have one chance. It's springtime, by the way. It's not winter.
Okay. Wait, when you say no pants, you mean like I'm literally naked?
No, you have some underwear on.
Okay.
I don't know where the pants
Yeah,
went.
because this is American pants and English pants.
Ah, okay.
Ah,
Trousers.
trousers. Okay.
You got no trousers.
Okay, I'm in my underpants.
Yeah, in your underpants.
Okay.
Yeah. You've got $50 in your pocket. It's a Saturday. What are you gonna do?
What am I going to do with $50 and seeing this girl?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would probably be like, oh, God, no. I'm in my underpants. Where am I? And I would probably hide.
You probably hide. You're not gonna approach her.
No, I'm not going to approach her. I
Okay.
probably need pants on to approach.
What would you do with the $50?
Get a taxi home.
It's an expensive taxi in Kiev.
That's okay. It's a long way. I ended up a long way out
Yeah,
outside
you
of
did.
Kiev.
Yeah, you did. So I've got to ask you the question, man. How'd you end up in Kiev?
Good question. So it will be 5 years ago when I came. And I think to go back a little bit, I've been working in London. And my band had finished because I was doing a lot of music. And I was having some troubles with my boss. He went a little bit crazy. So I thought, okay, now's a good time to leave the country. And to be very, very precise, I like languages, so I thought it would be good to leave and just spend some time abroad learning something. So I thought, okay. And actually, my brother, we were having a nice roast lunch in a pub in London, no, in Henley. And he suggested, oh, why don't you go and learn Russian? I was like, okay, that's an interesting idea.
But you'd studied some language before that.
Spanish, Italian, so I had a little of languages.
Okay.
And then, so Russian, and then, I looked at St. Petersburg, and then Kiev came on the radar because there was a Ukrainian lady at my gym. She was cool, and I then investigated it, and that's how I kind of came the first time.
Okay. You landed in Borispil?
I would have been Borispol, yeah. Took the Sky Bus.
It's your first time?
Took the Sky Bus. I was met by a guest. I was also a guest at a film festival, the Kiev Short Film Festival.
Okay.
That kind of coincided with my first visit. So they picked me up. They sent Tanya, lovely girl. She came to pick me up. She kind of helped me transition from the airport to Kiev.
Man, you had a positive experience when you arrived. When I first got here, I couldn't access any money. My card wasn't working. I had nothing. I just got on the Wi-Fi.
Were you wearing pants?
I was wearing
You
pants.
sure?
I had my pants,
Okay.
my backpack, and no cash, nothing. I had some foreign currency. I don't like Sri Lanka or something from my previous travels. And I went online and through a friend of a friend who lived an hour from outside of Kiev, I got saved. They came and picked me up, took me to I still don't know where that is. Some village far outside of Kiev. That was my welcome to Ukraine.
Okay. That's a bit strange.
A little bit.
Unusual, let's say.
Your boss went crazy, you said. What happened to him?
I would say he had some kind of... it's hard to exactly say why, but he had some relationship problems and he had some anger issues which came out. I think these were aligned with him attending some business success coach course. And that kind of drove him into like a different way of thinking. He even changed the way he dressed as well, everything. And he became super like ambitious. He wanted like to he wanted to 10x everything, you know, and just become like a billionaire. And he just changed as a person, and he wasn't fun to work with anymore.
Okay.
So that kind of drove me to leave the company.
So you and I work together.
We do.
I don't want to talk about work too much today. But you mentioned last night we had pizza.
We did.
So everyone knows, for the millions of viewers who are listening or watching. You told me that in this job, we're both teachers in the same company. In this job, you have to be an entertainer. Expand on that, please. What do you mean by that?
I think I meant that I like my students to enjoy themselves and have fun. I think that's important.
Okay.
So that's what I meant.
What if you're having a bad day? Can you entertain them?
I tend to be entertaining on bad days as well. I think. I try to be. You know, less bad days than there are good days. So, yeah, I can still try.
Okay. If I laugh today, it's not because you're funny. It's just because I'm nervous.
Okay.
It's my trick for overcoming the nerves. I'm camera shy, which is one of the reasons that I want to do this podcast. So I can just get comfortable looking at myself on video. How do you feel about the camera and being on video?
I haven't thought about it, to be honest, really.
You probably don't have a problem with it.
You know, it's one of those things where you think, is that what I look like? Is that what I sound like? So I'll probably think that and watch it. I don't have anything against being on camera. No.
Okay.
I think I'm okay with it.
I think it's Adam Driver. Do you know this actor?
Yeah.
Is he British?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. Yeah. Is he British?
He's American, surely.
I have no idea.
I think he's American.
But I've heard that he doesn't watch his movies after
Does
he makes them.
I think a lot of actors don't do
That's
that.
interesting.
And I was considering not watching this.
I'm deeply considering that.
Because I'm here, I know what happens. So I'll probably dip in and see. Just to...
Yeah.
But I think it's a great idea. I'm really, happy with that you've done it. I think it's a good thing. Because I've been, I think many people think about these things and don't actually end up pulling the trigger. So it's good.
So, Chris, one thing I really want to hear about is your experience writing an opera.
Yep, definitely.
That's something really interesting. You're the only person I've ever met who's written an opera. How did that go? How long did it take, first of all?
So, I say I wrote an opera, which is true. I wrote the music for the opera. I have a great partner, Luis. Together we're Muelas and Ward. That's our name, our partnership.
Who are they?
Muelas and Ward. So he wrote the story and he asked me I'd been writing music for short films and things, so he knew my music and he asked me. The process was, I think, 3.5 years in total from the start, with a few gaps in between. I would say it was written in 3 periods over those 3 years. And it was pretty tough. I had to really push myself, technically, creatively, technically, just to finish it. There are times when I was thinking, geez, it's taking so long and I've giving so much of my time to it. It's never going to happen. And eventually we were booked into a festival and the opera was half finished. And we had 5 months until the festival. And this was last year and during COVID, so we weren't even sure if the festival was going to happen. But we had a deadline, and that deadline, I think, gave me the energy to finish it. And I think I needed that. Yeah,
Mm. So you perform under pressure.
I do perform best under pressure. Yeah, definitely.
You're a pro procrastinator.
A pro procrastinator. I'm an amateur procrastinator.
Okay,
It definitely helps though having a deadline. I would say for sure.
sure. What's it about, the opera?
The opera is called A and E. So for those English people might think, oh, accident emergency, the emergency part of a
I
hospital.
thought of American Eagle, the brand.
No, so it's set in an accident and emergency ward. That's where it is. But the A and E are the initials of our two of our three characters. So a famous couple from the Bible, first around.
Oh, it's biblical.
It's kind of biblical. It's a mythical. It's a retelling of Adam and Eve, set in the 20th century. 21st century, actually. We're in the 21st century.
I can't remember which one.
And set in London. And it's an opera about love in modern times. Eve is a doctor, Adam's a patient, they come in. And then the third character we have...
Do they have pants?
They're wearing pants. Yeah.
Because, Adam and Eve didn't have pants in the Bible. But if it's modern day, I guess...
Modern. Our video, though, our promo video, they're naked. So you can watch that. That may be in the...
They're fully nude?
In the notes.
Or do they have
our viewers can watch it in the notes.
Oh, yeah, good idea. Is there like a leaf?
They're fully nude. Yep.
Okay, so it's rated... rated R. I don't know if you have these ratings in the UK.
It's soft. I think there's a nipple at one point, but like it's okay.
That's okay in the UK though, right?
Nipples are okay.
Okay, in the US,
they're not.
No nipples.
Okay. So some Adam and Eve, and then obviously we have the third part of the story, the temptation with the devil, and we have a modern Apple, an Apple iPhone, and not to say too much because I hope people will watch it. It's a really great opera. Even now I watch it and I love watching it. I love the music. I love the way it's been done. It's been filmed. We had a great team, great singers, great musicians, and great editors, etc. So it's been done really well. I think people will really enjoy it. And I enjoy listening to it. And
how long is it? The whole thing?
52 minutes.
Interesting. You said a modern Apple.
Well, yeah. So, what's a modern Apple?
I don't know what a modern Apple is.
It's the
cider.
It's the iPhone. Yeah. So the devil has an Apple iPhone, which he uses to tempt Adam to do something.
Okay.
So yeah.
Talk to me about the creative process. Obviously, that if it required so much time and.
Yeah. That's a good question. So the creative process for this, it has to combine, I think, different things. Like there's a certain amount of pre-planning you can do, and you have to be very organized. So when you're writing a big piece, 52 minutes to an hour, we weren't sure, to have it, make it consistent. I did pre-plan out different parts of it, how the different structures would be. So some parts I knew would be fast, some parts would be slow. I kind of planned out the orchestration, so the quality and the feel of the sounds. So one part's piano, some is string quartet. So you can kind of make some decisions before you write. So I kind of did that, and I did like a montage as well. I kind of, a bit like you would with a film, I assembled like different inspirational tracks, which I said would be like examples of the intention. So there was a quite a big planning side to it, and then the other part of it is just trying to write stuff. And I also, the other great thing is, some of the music was written for it. Some of the music I'd written outside of, writing music for it, and I brought it in, and it happened to work. But like I would tend to just sit down at the piano, and
so you play piano. I know you play guitar.
A little bit piano. So my piano skills aren't that great, but that's also a good thing. So one of my favorite pieces, number 6, is This Love. It's like the most beautiful piece ever. I actually wrote it for it was written outside of the opera for a Ukrainian girl called Vika. So it's known as Vika's music.
Shout out to Vika.
Hi Vika. How you doing? So I wrote it kind of for her because that was like.
Wait a sec. I know a few Vikas.
It's one
Is
of
it
them.
one of them?
I don't know if you know her. Anyhow, so that was written. It's a very, very basic, beautiful tune, and it just so happened to fit perfectly with the song "Is This Love." Obviously, it had the same sort of vibe, things. So that was one example of my basic piano skills. Another way, like I wrote it, just to kind of tell you a little bit how I write. The overture has a piano part, and it's really complicated. But I can no way near play it. It would take me years to learn. So what I had actually done, I used an arpeggiator.
I don't know what that is. What's an arpeggiator?
So an arpeggiator is you play a chord on your program. I use Logic.
And it automatically
And it
creates
automatically
stuff.
takes it. So I pressed the chord with the arpeggiator, and it started playing. It starts generating these nice arpeggios. And then, I played the melody and just changed the chords. And I semi-improvised it. Well, no, I completely improvised it using the arpeggiator. So that was great. And the beautiful thing there is, this is the overture. The overture, I kind of dub, its unofficial name is The Birth of the Universe Overture, because you have Adam and Eve, and I thought that to start the opera, how does the universe start? Well, it starts with a bang. So I start it with a bit of percussion. That was like a conceptual part.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did this, I wanted this expanding, the universe expanding. So that's why I chose the piano and the arpeggios, and I improvised it out. And the great thing is, I did it in one go, and I would never be able to replicate it. So it literally was a one-off piece of creation, which could never be done in the same way again, which is a bit like the Big Bang. So I think it's a nice symmetry of creation and artistic, taking a different approach.
Mm-hmm. And how many times have you listened to it? The whole thing?
The whole thing. Since it's been done, I don't know, maybe getting to 15, 20 times.
Okay, how many times have you seen your favorite movie?
Lord of the Rings.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them? How many times have you
That's
seen
not quite true. No, I
the
love watching
trilogy?
all of them. Probably 10 times, maybe. I
Mm.
guess. I kind of watch it once a year, normally around Christmas.
I think I've seen it more, man.
Have you?
Yeah, maybe 15, 20 times.
That's a lot.
My favorite are the Bourne movies, the Matt Damon ones,
Okay.
specifically the first 3. And I think I've seen them 50 times, man.
That's crazy.
A lot, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's one reason I ended up here.
Well, you had to leave America because you watched them too many times.
Because I thought I was going to be assassinated.
Okay.
No.
By Matt Damon.
Yeah. I was impressed by his ability to speak all these languages.
Oh, wow.
So I started to study French when I was 18. I think that's the first language that he speaks in
Is
the
it?
first movie. And I thought, I'm going to start with French. And I'm going to do this. I had this plan to study all these languages. And one of them was Russian.
Okay. You speak a few languages. I know you speak. I think you mentioned in passing that we went to Lebanon.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I speak Arabic.
Arabic. Okay.
But I won't display that right now.
Okay.
So we both came here to study Russian, which for some people may be a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
Are you also interested in learning Ukrainian?
I decided a few days ago that I should learn enough to speak in shops and restaurants.
Like last night in the pizza place.
Yeah.
It would be useful to know some
Was she speaking Ukrainian? I couldn't hear.
Yeah, I guess because of the new
I didn't hear that. Yeah.
law.
And also in the bar as well, the lady, although she might have been speaking Russian.
We went to a bar. I don't drink.
The first place,
Okay.
the first one. But they tell us we couldn't enter.
Oh yeah,
'cause
true.
They were reserved. Anyhow, I think I should know a little bit just to communicate in that circumstance because I think it's a bit awkward now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. On the topic of living here,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite spot in Kiev?
Definitely, I would say my favorite spot is Volodymyr Park. Volodymyrsky Park.
Let me try and remember which one is that. It overlooks the river.
It's overlooking the river. It's
Yeah, I
near
like that
it's
one.
near where my house is, my flat, and it's just a beautiful park.
Wow, you live in an ideal spot. Sounds like.
I love living there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You live close to Maidan. Yeah.
I live just up one of the streets. The street going up to the park
Okay.
is where I live. Yeah.
Maybe you'd like to tell everybody your address so that you can have all these
Oh,
people come haggle you.
Kostelna, the place to be. It's a great little street, and I live there, and the park's there. And now I love walking the park with the snow. In summertime, it's also beautiful. So,
Yeah. Have you swam in the river in the summer or winter?
I'm a little bit scared of the brownness.
Yeah, there's some
It's
brownness.
too brown for me. I did do the
I think it's chocolate.
I did the crazy thing that they do in January, where they basically
You did that.
I did
A
that.
few weeks. It's
I
called
did it 4 years ago.
Krishenia. What's it called?
I did it 4 years ago when I was dating Vika at the time.
Did she do it too?
She did it as well.
Were you wearing pants?
I was wearing underpants.
Oh, you mean underwear?
Underwear, yeah. So I did that then. Although that may have been in a lake.
You know what I don't understand? In Russian, it's like truсы, which I know this sounds really stupid here, but it's like a coward, I think, trus. So is underwear like cowards?
I have no
Are
idea.
you wearing cowards, Chris?
I think I've got great underwear.
Yeah, I've got some grey cowards today also.
Is it related to cowards, really?
I have no idea. Probably sound really dumb.
I need to check that
Oh,
one.
well. Do you have a favorite restaurant in Kiev?
There's a restaurant that I enjoy going to a lot. Zigzag. It's just a nice atmosphere,
yeah,
and
it's a nice one.
I just like it there. And I tend to go there and bump into friends. It's that sort of place, which is nice.
What do you get? What do you get at Zigzag?
They used to have the most amazing chocolate dessert, which I think they've taken off the menu. Chocolate mousse with cream and orange sauce. That's good. Or the steak.
Okay, how do you drink your coffee?
Cappuccino in the morning.
Just one?
One, yeah.
What about during your lessons?
No, coffee free.
Coffee free?
Don't need them.
Really?
Pure student energy.
Tea?
Tea, occasionally tea. Yeah,
Mhm.
with milk.
Have you spent much time in the villages? Have you experienced like the village life in Ukraine?
I've been to one village where a friend of mine lives, to his house. That was a few years ago. That's it. That's what I've seen. So not a great deal. I've seen them from trains as you go through.
Yeah.
That's it.
What'd you see there? Chickens, potatoes.
Well, I find they look a bit, they're not like English villages, which are quite picturesque.
Mm.
They're a bit haphazard, not well organized, quite, rough.
Okay. Babushkas.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Broken down tractors,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing.
Tell me about the UK a little bit. First of all, I want to hear some slang. I think a large percentage of our listeners or viewers are not British.
We always say
And-
mate.
Mate.
All right, mate.
All right, mate.
How's it going, mate?
All right,
Yeah. That's a lot of slang.
Bullocks. Is that one?
bollocks?
Bollocks.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
That's bollocks. Yeah, we say
That's
that. That's not
bollocks.
slang, though, is it? That's just a word for
Really? Because I don't think we say it in the US.
Well, you say other things. So
What context would I say? That's bullocks.
bollocks.
Bollocks.
Bollocks. Yeah.
Sandra Bullocks?
No, not Sandra Bollocks.
That's Sandra Bullocks.
I don't think bollocks. Bollocks. I don't know. That's bollocks. It's rubbish.
That's rubbish.
It's rubbish. Yeah.
Okay, what about bloke?
Bloke. You'll probably say he's a good bloke. He's a good bloke.
He's
yeah.
a good bloke.
bloke. Yeah. Good guy.
Okay.
Nice bloke. Jolly nice bloke.
Can I say, by the way, it might be interesting for, I think, some of our audience is learning English
Mhm.
since we're in Ukraine and we're teachers.
Yeah.
Bloke. Can I
Bloke.
say, hey, bloke, what's up?
No, you don't want to say, "Hey bloke, what's up?" No, you don't want to say that. Well,
I don't want to say
no, it's
hey,
not
bloke.
rude or anything, but you wouldn't. That's not a You don't call someone a bloke.
Okay.
You
It's
wouldn't-
like third person.
yeah, it's like he's a bloke.
What is that? Sounds negative to me, man.
No, it's just another.
How dare he call me a bloke?
It's just a guy. It's like guy.
Okay.
You wouldn't say hi guy, unless his name was Guy, which is the name.
You can say, hey, that's my guy. That's my guy. Can you
my
say
guy.
that's my bloke?
It would probably mean that like he's your boyfriend. So So yeah, you could say it. I don't know.
No, I don't do. I don't do boyfriends.
Okay, fair enough. That's my No, you
Bloody Mary, bloody hell.
bloody hell. Yeah, that's I guess you'd call that an intensifier
Okay.
from a grammar perspective.
What's your impression of Americans? Well, first of all, can you do an American accent?
Which one? Be more specific. New York.
What's really funny, I know we're not supposed to talk about work, but one of your students thinks you're American. I might have mentioned to you before.
Which one?
I
They
won't say his name. I'll tell you later.
There's only a few guys in my class.
I told him he's from London, and he said, "Are you sure? Have you checked his passport?"
Oh right, I think I know who it is.
Yeah. You don't have him.
I'm pretty clearly English. I think.
For me, I haven't checked your passport, but you sound English to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty English. Yeah.
Can you do an American accent?
I wanted to do Sean Connery then, but I can't. I used to try and do like a Texas accent, but you're putting me on the spot, which makes it a lot harder to do.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
At some point, I'll try and like swing an American accent in there when it feels like it's going to come out.
Okay. Who's your favorite James Bond?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, good. There's a guy called Craig Daniels. Is it Craig Daniels? I'm always worried that I'm going to get the name wrong.
Daniels.
No, Craig David. Anyways, I always get worried that I'm going to get Daniel Craig or Craig Daniel. It's just something I do, him. Switching names.
Yeah, he's intense.
He's cool. And they just made good films. Like, they were good Bond films. Like, a good balance of some good story, some good action, and a bit of grit.
Okay.
Although I did like Pierce Brosnan. I mean, he's quite suave.
He's the one in Die Another Day? That one?
I think he's the one before Daniel Craig, I believe.
Die Another Day maybe is... Let's not get into that territory and look dumb.
I can't remember any of his Bond films.
I haven't seen the last Bond film.
I'm not sure what it's called.
I think it was Spectre. It's not Spectre.
No, I don't think it's called Spectre. I just sent you the picture of Spectre.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I haven't watched a movie now for almost 1 year. Exactly.
It's a movie ever?
At all. Have I told you this before?
No, but how come so you haven't watched... I
haven't watched any movie.
You haven't watched Jason Bourne once in the last year?
No, but actually I think that was the last movie I watched. It was in March of... when quarantine began. March 2020.
Why is that?
Just a break.
Really?
I don't know. Don't you take a break from some things sometimes?
Yeah, but not like a year break from watching a movie, I would say. That's quite good. I mean...
I got used to it. I don't have a huge interest for movies, I guess. Chris, would you call yourself a motivated individual?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
With the caveat that I'm not always motivated, you know.
Okay. Generally speaking.
Generally, I think, like, over the long term, I'm pretty motivated, I would say. Okay. And I have had a fairly motivated and belief in potential and doing, working hard and doing interesting things and, you know, growing, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's...
What's your sweet spot during the day where you're most productive?
I've never considered that. Not sure.
Are you a night owl?
Not anymore. No, okay. I think I like to chill now. So probably, I can't answer that.
I think you're a morning person. You have some morning classes.
I'm
not a big morning person.
I like getting up in the morning. I think getting up in the morning is good. I mean, I'm getting up. I should qualify. I would say getting up early in the morning is always nice. Like the odd time when I get out of bed really early, like 6:37, which doesn't happen that often. And then by the time you reach 9 o'clock, it's like, my God, I've done a lot of things. So that's a nice experience every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm generally not like a morning person compared to a really proper morning person who's like, you know, out of bed at 5, in the gym by 6, you know, at his desk by 7, 8.
Someday.
So
That's my goal, man.
Yeah.
Someday, I don't know.
no, I'm kind of pretty mid-morning, I would say. It takes me an hour to get my brain working, and I have to have a shower.
Okay, you're a yoga man,
Yep.
which is what we started with today. How often do you do yoga? What does it do for you?
Twice, 3 times a week. That's what I try and do.
You do it with a group?
A group, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I like the physical practice.
Okay. Are there any Vikas in the group?
I haven't met a Vika. If she's there, it could be, but I don't think.
Is
she
it mixed gender or what is it?
Yeah, anyone can go.
What do you think of mixed gender bathrooms or toilets? What do you call them in the UK?
Well,
Wash closets.
WCs. It's a mixed gender toilet. I mean, it's like, well, cubicles. It's okay.
Yeah, when I came to Ukraine, I thought it was unordinary because we don't have those in the US. We have a lot of, debate over what kind of bathrooms we should have.
I think we
by
tend to
gender.
have gender bathrooms, gender toilets. So
Okay.
that's pretty normal. I think that's normal. Not that it's unnormal to do anything else, but that seems to be the most toilets seem to be divided between male and female.
Yeah. So you do 2 or 3 times per week?
Mm-hmm.
Morning? Yoga?
No, lunchtime or evening.
Have you tried hot yoga?
I do like hot yoga, yeah. I do like that. It kind of, obviously your muscles have more heat, so you can tend to stretch more. So I do like hot yoga, yeah. But
what happens there? They turn up the heat? Or
depending
how does it
on
work? You
where
go to a sauna?
where you do it. It's like a sauna. So they have these some of them put these heat panels on the top that radiates heat.
Okay.
Some of them, I think, use steam. They have these little steamers which blast out steam.
Do you wear pants?
I wear shorts, yeah, and that's it. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, hot yoga's nice. I don't do hot yoga now. I do normal hatha yoga, I think.
Okay. Do you lift, run?
I don't. I go to the gym sometimes and do some weights. I think that's good. I used to run, not anymore. I haven't run in Kiev. I just haven't found it a place to run. I used to run in London. That was really good.
In the city? Like
In the parks, yeah, in Victoria Park.
Oh, you can run in Volodymyr Park.
Yeah, I know I could.
Personally, I like to run where there's a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't know why. I like dodging them.
I run through them.
I like running through them, listening to techno, and like dodging them. I feel like I'm playing football, American football.
Okay, that's cool.
And I run through, and I feel like they're all watching me, and I get some extra energy from it.
That's nice.
If I see a pretty girl, I think, oh, she might be seeing me run right now, and
You're the quarterback.
she might chase me.
That would be nice.
She might tackle me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would run to. I think I would play Queen in my head. I'd play Queen.
The
band.
The band.
Yeah. I can't remember what song. I remember I would run and I would have my own music like playing in my head. I think. Yeah, I think I did that.
But do you listen to music when you run? Do you listen to music at all?
I don't actually tend to listen to that much music at the moment. I've never have. Well, I have, but I like listening to vinyl. I try and collect a little bit of vinyl.
You have a vinyl player here?
Yeah, I've got a vinyl player here, and the UK. I've got a big collection in the UK.
Yeah.
Here, I've got a little collection, which I brought a few over from the UK just to give me a little start, and I've bought a couple here. But listening to music, no, I don't listen to that much. For like a composer, musician, I don't.
I thought musicians love to listen to music.
They probably do.
I thought musicians are a monolith and that they're all the exact same.
Yeah, actually,
it's my sarcasm.
It's sarcasm, yeah. No, I don't. I found myself listening to less music. I don't know. I like listening to music,
Okay.
but I don't. It's just I just don't.
Have you changed your style of music?
I think I have changed my style of music.
Have you changed your hairstyle?
I have changed my hairstyle. Yeah.
Really? I can't imagine you with a different hairstyle.
I used to have long hair. In the UK, like when I was in my band, I used to have like, proper But I think it was a bit 70s. So
Long,
wasn't the best
can't
hair on me.
imagine.
Wasn't the best hair on me.
Have you ever gotten a piercing?
No.
Did you think about it?
No piercings there.
Tell me about the music scene. You played in where? In London?
In London, yeah.
We were in bars or what?
We played we were like an indie pop band called Filter Beds.
Filter
Beds, yeah.
beds.
Filter Beds, yeah.
Filter beds.
Filter Beds, yeah.
Oh,
Filter Beds.
it sounds lovely.
It's cool. And we would play. We didn't do that many gigs. We played a few gigs, like in pubs, basically, and in like a warehouse every now and again, like a warehouse party in East London. That was cool. That was with my mate. I mean, we had a dream. Like our dream was to to be in a rock band and tour and make albums and hang out and do stuff, which we kind of did a little bit. We had a studio. We would go to the studio twice a week, play jam, and we would jam in our living room, and just have a cool time. And, part of it's hanging out with your friends, part of it's being creative and doing good music. And then we would go to see lots of gigs, go to festivals. I would read all the time. I was reading books about, different bands and like music history from 50s, 60s, 70s. And it was cool.
Did you read biographies, autobiographies?
I've read Eric Clapton's.
Me too.
Autobiography.
Did we talk about this?
No, we haven't. No.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's Nate.
Nate, okay.
Who also
Nate.
read it. Yeah, we've all read. Hey, Nate. Shout out.
That
one blew my mind.
Did it?
Yeah.
I remember his 400,
kind of dark.
400 grand a year heroin habit. That was the figure which stuck out.
Kind of dark. I love his guitar playing style. For a few months, I didn't go to university. I dropped out for some time. Actually, I was kicked out for some time because I went to a pretty conservative college and they found a beer in the fridge.
And they kicked you out.
Yeah, that's a different topic.
That's an episode in itself.
But for a few months, I just played guitar, maybe 8 months.
Really?
8 hours every single day.
That's quite serious. You've got some good guitar skills. I've heard you play.
Oh, making me blush. Have you ever had a big mistake on the stage when performing?
I wouldn't say a massive mistake. No, never. Nothing. Probably more like I used to play classical guitar as a boy growing up. And I still play classical guitar. So every now and again I probably bummed a note, fluffed a note.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing nothing crazy bad.
What do you do? How do you recover?
You just keep playing.
Just keep playing?
Just keep playing, yeah.
Is that a metaphor for life?
How do you recover? Keep playing? It could be. Mm-hmm.
Keep playing.
Ignore it. Keep going.
Ignore it.
Because the audience probably haven't noticed, or they probably have noticed because it's a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But just keep playing.
So I'm gonna give you another scenario.
Am I wearing my pants?
We're getting toward that time. I actually have no idea what time it is. The scenario is it's a Saturday afternoon. Once again, it's always Saturday scenarios. And you are on a podcast with some Ukrainian guy, not me.
Okay.
And he asks you, Chris, what is meaning of life? How do you answer him?
Well, Vlad, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. What is the meaning of life?
I threw you a curveball.
I'm doing an Elon Musk. I'm thinking about it. So it's okay. He's I wasn't expecting a question like that. The meaning of life.
Maybe it can be a current one.
Yeah,
I think mine changes from time to time.
Yeah. I suppose for me at the moment, it's just what's the meaning of life?
Or I can put it this way. In very black and white terms. Is the meaning self-serving or is it society-serving?
That's a good question. I have considered, I used to think of myself as being a bit more like pro-society,
Yeah.
whereas at the moment I'm probably a bit more like me,
Yeah.
because of circumstances. And I suppose like now I'm kind of in a particular phase of my life, so I'm kind of focused on certain things,
Sure.
like work and doing better there. So that doesn't really allow me time to think about the meaning of life. And when I do listen to things which are a bit more focused on the meaning of life, like Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, I used to be a bit more like focused on that sort of higher talking probably 10 years ago. I would read different things. Now, meaning of life now, I mean, like, just be healthy.
Yeah, that's key. That's really key.
I think for me, that's the most important thing. I've always tried to put fitness and health first. I do my best to sabotage myself as well. So just trying to get that and, health. And then, actually, what was I thinking today? Actually, today I was like, well, hang on a minute. What was it? I was thinking yoga class today. It was to do with suffering and thinking, oh yeah, suffering is finished. No more suffering.
Interesting.
And what would that look like in my life? Like what were the things you wouldn't do? So, meaning of life. I don't think there is any particular meaning of life, really. Not one,
Probably not.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There's not. There's definitely not. There's not a meaning of life.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, for being on the show today. I appreciate it greatly.
Well,
and
it's nice being here.
Yeah, hope to see you again. Maybe see you here again.
Yeah, I'd love to come
Maybe
back.
in a different studio.
This is comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Well, thank you for asking me, and I look forward to more episodes of Room 36.
Stay tuned. Thank you.
Pleasure, Dan.